Honourable Speaker, the way it is, I'm sorry, but I cannot support this bill in its current form. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Nyikal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving the opportunity to discuss this. Mr. Speaker, I rise to oppose this bill because it is actually flawed. Mr. Speaker, this bill, the objective is to provide for affordable housing, to levy, put a levy, and to give a framework. It does none of those, absolutely none. Throughout the bill, there's been no indication on how these houses are going to be affordable, meaning it's cheaper than other houses in the market. You actually pay, you don't know you are going to get, and then you put a deposit of 10%, then you are given a house, and then you pay back the loan. That is standard. What is different from that? What is going to change them? And now you go and look at even what we call the frameworks. Just start with the definition. Affordable housing, not more than 30% of your income per month. We start to put figures. How are you going to actually ensure that it is not more than 30%? And then you go down, and the affordable houses are actually three types. Social housing unit for people whose income are below 20,000. Affordable housing unit, which is between 20,000 and 100,000. Affordable market housing, which is over 100,000. When you say that, and you have put 30%, you have already actually said what that house is going to, the rent is going to be. In the market, is it really possible to have a law which is saying exactly what you are going to pay? I don't see how that will work out. So you have put a percentage, you have actually put what the income is, you've put it, that gives you the cost of the house. Can you really fix that? That is what has given us a problem for 10 years when we put a number, 2/3 gender rule. It's a number, and we are trying to get to reach it politically. We are doing the same thing with this bill. That is just not going to work. Then you go to the levy. We started by saying it was for employed people only. But of course, that is what the court didn't like, and then the court brought us back, and now we say people who are other incomes. But if you look very carefully at clause 4, 2B, clause 4A says the gross salary of an employee. That's okay. That is practical. That can be done. But when you say the gross income of a person received or accrued, which is not subject to the levy under paragraph A, that actually has two meanings. It may mean that for a person who is not salaried, that is what it may mean. But it may also mean that even if you are salaried and you have paid and you still have another income, that income will still be subject to that. Is that exactly what we mean in this bill? So that itself is we have a problem with that. Then, when you have got that, and you then come to the allocation of this, you actually already have said who is going to do this in actually clause 6. So you say 30% is going to National Housing Corporation, 30% is going to Kenya Slum Upgraded Low Income, this 30%, and then 30% going to that. Now, you have a board for that. You have a board for this fund, but you have also distributed this fund to other institutions. These other institutions, if you go to clause 12 where there's a board, how is this board going to actually manage funds that are actually in other institutions which have their own boards? So that is defective. You can't set up a board, you say what the board is going to do, you say the functions of the board, and then the money that you are distributing to other institutions that have their own boards. So that is actually technically defective. If you come to eligibility, Mr. Speaker, okay, it says Kenyan over 18, and then you have to have proof of availability of deposit, which is 10% of the value. And then after that, you will apply, and if you are the agency, again, you have gone to the agencies, you apply to the agencies if you have a deposit of 10%. Now, if you are talking of affordable houses, and the other people who are not salaried, even the people who are salaried, if you're talking of Mama Mboga, if these are the people you are talking about, the hustlers, and you said they need a deposit of 10%, already they are paying, and you've told them, and the leader of majority was saying that when they went out, people were very keen that we are even going to do it voluntarily. What they mean, if you didn't get that, is that they think that if they pay this, they are definitely going to get a house. I don't think people realize that you can pay this for years and you may never get a house. So if again now they are going to pay this 10%, and they have been paying that, and they are just going to pay back, that is difficult. And again you realize when you go to clause 38, you find that an eligible person may actually not be able to raise 10%. Then you say...
There's a point of order by the Majority Leader. It better be a point of order, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, you know the Honorable Nyikal has invited me by referring to what I said in relation to public participation. But clearly, the Honorable Nyikal has not read what came out of that public participation in the committee's report, because all the issues he's speaking to, from eligibility, there are proposed amendments by the committee, including the question he's raising of 10% deposits, are things that are very well articulated in the committee's report if you go through it. Therefore, kindly, probably he would take some time off and read so that he understands where I was coming from when I said what I said of public participation.
You see, that is exactly, actually, that's exactly my point. You have actually reminded me of another point why I actually reject this bill at this point. When the leader of majority was moving, even the second when they were moving, they did not discuss the bill. They were discussing the report, which means that to a large extent, without that report, this bill cannot pass. It makes it possible that by the time we go to amendments, there will be so many amendments that we may, just leader of majority, there may be so many amendments that we may actually think that this bill should be drafted again. So, Mr. Speaker,
order, the Honorable Nyikal. It's Majority Leader. Order. The report is a report of the bill. So the report can't stand over the bill. The report is a report of the bill, and so I believe that the bill, the report informed the debate on the bill. So I don't want us to waste time on this. I would allow you to continue the debate.
I will.
Don't get distracted.
No, and I have actually even looked at the report, even the format of the report. Everyone is saying that we look at the report. First of all, it came late. We haven't had time to read it. But even when I've looked at it, you do not, as you normally would have in a report of this nature, a clear schedule of what amendments are proposed. What we have in this report is actually almost verbatim report. This is what they said. This is what the observation of the committee. So you don't actually, then you read the report, you don't clearly get it ends on page 190, and the only recommendation, committee recommendation, the committee having tendered the bill and the submissions from the members, the public and stakeholders, recommends that the House approve the bill with the amendments. Now, they are not, this is the report. So this is actually technically defective. So, Mr. Speaker, then we realize, as we have said, that people may not afford. We then bring that in clause 10, that a loan can also be made available. Now look at this bill. There is money you are paying. Then now you also want to take a loan. And you can also make a saving in the same. What structure shall we have for this fund? So the idea.
Allow him 20 seconds to finish.
You see, I have the soft copy.
We then move to Jomvu.
You can't